there before we get started, or no?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Then, yeah, let me swap my screens around here and shall ready to go. Oh, crap. Hold on.
Crap cracker.
Go ahead and I got to do the Rumble stuff and all that.
Oh, okay.
By the way, if you've commented on Rumble, my apologies. I'm getting to it now.
Yeah. Here's one. Daryl says, wish Kevin would take this poll seriously and make a super index of all Palladium books. Dude, you want to help him? Do that.
He did. There's two. Aren't there 2 index books?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call them index books. I call them more guidepost books. Like it tells you in what book this information is found.
Oh, I got you.
But most of the time, not exactly where. So, it's helpful to a point. Like, it'll point you to the right book, but usually you just got to make it up.
Do you know some really nice super chats and
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Here.
The books are old. Yes, Polyrobotics. Yes, all the books are old, except for the ones that aren't. That is an awful statement.
It
but
is.
At the same time, it is 100%
true.
But
sometimes the truth is just annoying.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I think I'm finally ready-ish. What are we talking about today? Oh yeah, monsters.
Monsters. Love monsters.
Us. We were talking about us. Oop, need my super secret words. All right. Welcome to the penultimate episode. Well, I guess if you're watching on video, it's really not. But for the live stream purposes, it is the penultimate episode of Rule Cyclopedia. We have this week and next week to go. 4 more topics. And today we're going to be covering monsters and immortals. But in this video, we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons monsters. That's right. We're going to be looking at the Rule Cyclopedia. Now, we're not going to look at every single monster in there, but we are going to look at the first few pages that talks about how to read the monster section, because it's got a whole bunch of symbols and artifacts and everything else that you have to try to figure out, what does this mean? What does 19 asterisks mean with this monster? Well, we are going to tell you that right now, actually. All right, let's get to monsters. What is it? 152. Probably get close by doing 155. Oh, monsters. Oh, it's 1 page off. All right. As we know, this is a cyclopedia. So that means it's going to be rules heavy. So let's dive into this, because it's going to define everything for us, because you know what? You have to kind of understand what you're reading. So whatever, let's just look at monster name. If the name of a monster is followed by an asterisk, then a special or magical weapon is needed to hit that monster. All right, so now we know that. Going forward, if it's got that little doohickey on there, little splat, you need something magical to hit it.
Or it says special or magical.
That's fair.
Which probably means like silver or cold iron sometimes, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The monster description tells what sort of weapon is needed. Use these monsters with caution. They are very dangerous to low-level characters. They are very dangerous to low-level characters who may not have the right type of weapon to effectively fight such creatures.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the rub of just throwing werewolves and vampires and fairies at someone. Exactly, yeah. They probably won't have wolf's bane or wooden stakes or silver coated daggers or whatever,
right.
To actually deal with them.
Them all. TPK, baby.
But if you give the party some heads up, like, hey, this area is werewolf infested, and they don't properly prepare, well, that's on them.
Well, and it's great to encourage research. You're going to the caves of doom. You might want to know what the rumors say are there, what history says is there.
Yeah, what flavor of doom are we talking about?
Right.
There it is. That's what we're looking for.
All right, monster statistics. This is something that like all the old school players can just look at and understand quickly. That little monster block. Now this is vertical, but even the horizontal monster block, we can all just look at that, pop, 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 and know exactly what it's saying. But It's got a nice little description here, armor class hit dice. You can see here, and we'll look down to try to figure out how they incorporate these with each of the monsters. Heathen Dog.
Yeah.
Morale. Do you remember what morale means?
Sure.
What does it mean?
It means their likelihood to stay and fight or to run, depending on the situation.
Do you think that's important to have in a stat block?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. The reason being is because a lot of these things, it's not just one of them. It's 2 to 4, 5 to 10, whatever, and they'll have a pack mentality. So if you take out the leader, it may hit a morale check for everybody else, and you could just win. They could just run away.
All right, bear with me just one moment. Somebody said my volume's low, and you're right, because I was using StreamYard on Friday. Every time I use StreamYard, then come back to restream, my volume is half what it's supposed to be. Bear with me just 1 second while I fix that.
Can you call me Horn Dog?
Horn Dog? What? Me?
No.
Oh.
Well, you're not super wrong. You ask my wife, she'd be like, yeah.
All right, so I should be a lot better now. By the way, thank you for mentioning that. Okay, let's go to armor class. Look, we've already talked about so many of these things that I don't think we have to describe them. Now, I want to say something here. I'm saying it because Heathen Dog's on the show. I don't like to skip a lot of stuff because these are supposed to be read-throughs.
Yep.
But we've already covered all of this at some point or another. Yeah. Like this isn't stuff. Armor class. You should already know how armor class works. We actually had a couple of videos on that one, some in character creation and when we talked about combat. Hit dice. This is a number of 8-sided dice. If we didn't say that specifically before here, let's look at what hit dice are. It's like the character level, but for a monster. This gives the number of 8-sided dice used to find the monster's hit points. So hit dice 11 means the creature has 11 d8 hit points. That could be as low as 11, sorry, or as high as 88.
Yeah.
Depending on what you roll. So, yeah. And then it talks about that more there. Movement. We talked about movement during character creation. Now you just have to figure out how far it's going, and in traveling because you have
talked about movement at length.
Yeah, because you have the wilderness movement versus the dungeon movement, and it's going to work the same way. Number of attacks, I think you can figure that out. It has multiple attacks per round. The damage it does, again, I think you can figure that out. A typical entry for damage might read 1d6/2d6. The first attack listed under attacks causes 1d6 points of damage, and the second one listed causes 2d6. So if it says it's got claw bite, got claw bite, the claws do 1d6, the bite does 2d6. Okay, maybe that was worth reading here, to be fair on that one. But generally speaking, this isn't something that I think we need to dive into. You should understand this stuff already, even though it is a read-through.
Right. Now, number of appearing is important for this, especially if you're doing a random encounter.
Okay, we'll do that. Number of appearing shows the number of monsters that can be encountered. Makes sense, but there's a caveat to this. Let's see what that caveat is. The first number shows the number of monsters normally found in a dungeon room. The second number, in parentheses, gives the number, I didn't want to zoom back in, but whatever, found outdoors in the wilderness. So, normal number, dungeon, parentheses number, wilderness. If either number is 0, the monster is not normally found in that location. The DM can always adjust the number according to the situation.
Yep. And if any of your characters decide to get monster lore of some kind, then, if you come across like a water nymph in the desert, be like, what the hell is she doing here? There's no way this monster would be here naturally. Someone put it here.
Yeah, I use things like that as some sort of adventure hook.
Yeah.
I think I've told the story about when I was in Korea. To be fair, Korea was the worst gaming experience of my life, and I caused most of it. But I was running a second edition adventure where they came across some drow that were above ground, and I didn't utilize all the drow's power. Couple reasons. One, there's actually a reason why their powers were limited. 2, they're above ground. But they were supposed to follow them and figure out, WTF, we don't want drow running around up here. Those are evil things. Let's kill it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did all that. But after the session, this guy, all I remember is that his football name was Gantor. I forget, his first name is Todd. I don't remember his last name, but apparently he used to write for Polyhedron magazine and so forth. But he spurged out on me. That's not how drought work. Oh my God, if you're going to use a monster, use it right, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking in my head, they've had many, 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 many reasons to yell at me throughout this, at that point, 6 to 9 months. This is not one of them. There's a reason why this is being done. And when I even tried to explain that, no, there's a reason for this. Oh, sure, okay, there's a reason for it. Now all of a sudden there's reason for it. I don't tell you what the reasons are. That should be in your head going, this isn't normal. This isn't right. First of all, why are drow up here? Secondly, aren't they supposed to have fairy fire? Aren't they supposed to? What's going on here? If they even care. We never end up playing any more of that adventure because he got so angry that I got frustrated. Again, I was kind of immature. And so that we just stopped that campaign.
Okay. And so how do you handle large number of appearing in the wilderness? Remember, you as the game master can choose how many appear.
Mm-hmm.
The whole number of appearing is a range that normally happens. This is the normal range when you come across them in a dungeon or come across them in a wilderness. If it's too little or too much, you can adjust it. The normal range isn't every range.
Right.
So yeah, that's how you do it. I mean, if you're in the forest and there's 5 party members, and the number of appearing is 2d6, you can just say 10, or you can just say 5,
right?
Or you can just say 7, or you could say 20 and make it a special thing, or 1. You could do that too. You have to explain it. I mean, in your head as a game master, you have to explain why the number of appearing is outside the normal range, but that only adds depth to the adventure that you're playing. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, there are arguments for finding a water nymph in the desert. Exactly.
Right,
I mean, you can.
Yeah. But if you don't see an oasis but even then, the water nymph wouldn't go through the desert to get to an oasis. Someone put it there. Why? Part of the adventure.
Right, and that was the point I was making even with my drought thing, is like, you absolutely, even if let's say there's a random table of monsters and it comes up with something weird, we talk about a lot on Fridays, on various Fridays, you can still have a dragon appear in front of 3rd level characters.
Yeah.
Just don't do it as what I call the Street Fighter mentality of round 1, fight.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it's not a good idea.
If you put a dragon in front of level 3 characters, you have to give them the option to just go away.
Or just use it in interesting ways. You see the dragon over there burning a village. Do they want to go help or do they want to run away? Maybe it's polymorphed in the woods and you don't even realize it's a dragon.
Yeah, that could be it too. Polymorphed into a little elf girl.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things that you can come up with. There's just use your imagination and have fun with it.
But the thing is, if there's a party of 3rd level characters and there's a dragon burning a city, let's go kill the dragon. No, let's go add our bodies to the charred pile. That's what you're actually doing.
You're giving the dragon experience points.
Yeah, you're the dragon's farming you. That's what's going on.
All right. Saves. I was going to skip over this one, but I guess this is a good distinction here. It's going to say something. Okay, well, I'll just read it. The line shows you the character class and level at which the monster makes saving throws. For example, the description says save F7, then the monster saves as a 7th level fighter.
Good to know.
Okay, morale. We talked about morale. Treasure type. By the way, I am skipping treasure. We might gloss over it. There's a treasure chapter here. I'm completely skipping that one. I'm sorry if somebody wants to yell at me. It's supposed to be a read-through. You should cover everything. Really, is treasure that important?
Yeah, it's just not that interesting.
Intelligence. When a monster is hit by a charm or maze spell, or whenever the DM just needs to know the approximately how bright the creature is, its intelligence can be a guideline. This line gives the average intelligence for a creature of this type. The DM can vary the intelligence of individual monsters as described later in the chapter. My suggestion with varying, Heathen Dog was talking about that a moment ago, right? You can vary numbers. You're the game master. You can vary whatever you want. I caution one thing, and this is a personal pet peeve of mine that will actually cause me at some point to leave a game if it happens too often. Stop playing against type. Stay within the theme of the creature.
Yeah. And I will add one to that.
Okay.
Do not vary the attributes or damage or whatever beyond 50% of the norm.
Oh God, even that's pretty high, but yeah.
No, yeah, but I'm talking like a boss orc, you know, like the orc
Yeah,
king.
that's fair.
He should be 50% better than the average orc, and you'll be fine. The orc lieutenant, the general of the armies, whatever, 25% better than the average orc. Awesome, cool. But if you start going more or less than that, then they're too
It's not really an
phenomenally
orc anymore.
powerful or too ridiculously weak.
I mean, if you want something really massive to be leading the orc armies, make it a like a furbolg, a giant,
Yeah.
or a cyclops. I don't even think ogres would be strong enough for that. But you get the point. Like, make it something else that the orcs would be like,
Would respect and go, okay,
Yeah.
we'll follow you.
Yeah. All right, you got a line. Sorry, we got a super chat that needs to be read. Can you put that on the screen? I don't have access to it.
Okay.
Polyrobotics, thank
teddy
you.
bears.
Thank you. Well, we kind of show they were. First of all, thank you, Polyrobotics. Thank you very much for the $20 again. I think we kind of looked at that dragons in Rule Cyclopedia
Are not as strong as you would originally think them.
Yep.
They are kind of weak, but their breath and their spells and stuff that can take an entire party out.
Just picking you up by your shoulder, flying and dropping you from
and you're done. And you're just done. Or a cone AoE fire breath will take care of fifth level and under adventurers in one hit, and you're done. And
if you all standing together, there it is.
Yeah, that was the
guys.
story of
We're going in the phalanx. Let's lock arms and shields.
Okay, are these magic shields? No. All right. Well, you just put yourself all in one place.
What is that Rick and Morty one? The dragon breathes on him. He puts that cold shell over him. He breathes on him. He's like, oh no, it just slowed it down. It hurts more. All right. And then we got alignment and XP value. And we talked about experience points value a couple times again as well. So now let's get into some more meat. Let's talk about monster descriptions. These are going to be things that are going to be a little bit more important for us to describe today. So we got the monster type. This is a general guide as to the type of monster this creature is. Different types of monsters have different sets of abilities, as described later. Monster types include normal animals, including giant animals and prehistoric animals, so that's good to know. Low life? You low life! Including insects, arachnids, fungi, slimes, gnomes, and halflings. Oh, sorry, that's not on there. Construct, dragon, humanoid, monster, planar monster, which we'll be talking about next week. Well, we'll be talking about the planes next week. And undead. Enchanted. Enchantment. Monsters are identified. The monster can only be harmed by magical weapons or is magically summoned or controlled. So, that's a weird way of saying that. Hold on.
Yeah, that is weird. Do you think they'd make two different, like enchanted and summoned? I would think should be different, but okay.
So enchanted monsters are identified. I'm gonna skip the parenthetical. Oh, did they miss some text here? Enchanted monsters are identified.
I.e., the monster can only be harmed by magical, and these monsters can be affected by such spells as protection from evil, 10-foot radius.
It's just a weird sentence. Because you're supposed to be able to read a sentence like that without the parenthetical in there, and it actually seems cumbersome without it.
Yeah. So what that paragraph is saying, that if a creature is summoned or it is a fundamentally greatly magically enhanced creature, then it is affected by protection circles. Okay.
Or can be affected.
Yeah.
Monster rarity is given in parentheses whether a creature is common, rare, or very rare. Common creatures will appear frequently in a campaign. Rare creatures should appear only occasionally, and very rare creatures should only show up in extraordinary places and circumstances. Now,
or if you're actually looking for them.
Or even then, you could be hunting for a while, I suppose.
You could, but if you're actually looking for something, you have a greater likelihood of finding it than just running across it.
Understand that these designations for this game, though, are going to be for Mystara. Your setting might be different. So for the sake of argument, I don't even know if this creature's in here. Displacer Beasts might be uncommon. Or, I'm sorry, rare. They might be rare. In your setting, you might love Displacer Beasts and want them everywhere.
Everywhere. Like kangaroo in Australia. They're just freaking everywhere.
Hopping on your cars, boxing your cats.
Yeah, just lousy with them. Could be that.
All right, description. This is a general description of the monster's habits, appearance, special abilities, and behavior. In the description, you may find any of the following terms: carnivore, herbivore, insectivore, omnivore, nocturnal. Okay. I'm not going to dive into what all those mean. You should, if you don't know those.
What all that is for is for the game master to try and suss out how the monster will react to certain situations. If something is an herbivore, most herbivores are very timid and they just run away. If it's a carnivore, most carnivores are predatory. So they will react differently when encountering the group.
Carnivores don't like to be hurt, though.
No.
Another thing to consider, there's a book out there, and while the author of the book is a douche nozzle, the book is called The Monsters Know What They Are Doing. The book itself I promote heavily because I think a lot of game masters can learn from that book. I really do. I think a lot of game masters are too hooked on the numbers and not enough on this section, the description section of it. While that book is for 5e, I actually utilize it for some second edition. We got some really old videos. They're really old now, but some really old videos where we actually covered some creatures and talked about how you can use them in your game based on the description, not just the number, how you can come across it, how it's going to fight more than just being a stat block. If that's something that interests you, I would check out that book. Again, you'd have to convert it for your edition of the game, but it'll help get your brain moving in a direction. It's like, oh, so it isn't just going to stand there and try to throw a breath weapon at me while I'm hacking it away. No, it's going to actually fight like a creature that's evolved into this or that was thrown onto this planet by the gods, to support a niche of some sort. It's not just a stat block.
The two most important stat blocks for the game master to understand in every monster write-up is the description and the intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
That will determine how the creature will react to outside stimulus. If it is a highly intelligent carnivore, it's going to be a very successful predator, and it is going to put the characters into a trap if it decides to kill them. If it is a very stupid herbivore, it's basically going to react to stimulus like a cow. So if you attack a cow, what does a cow do? Cow runs away.
The bull doesn't.
The bull doesn't, no. But I specifically said cow.
Yeah, fair. All right, you have terrain types in here: cavern, cold Arctic, desert, lost world. Ooh, what's lost world? This is a special area cut off from the outside world where creatures from bygone age live on unchanged, including prehistoric areas. Okay, so that's where you can find the dinosaurs. This is why the dinosaurs haven't wiped out everything else, is because they're stuck in the Lost World.
Yeah.
Okay. You're playing Rifts now. Remember, Mystara also includes Hollow World. Just saying. Ocean, open, river, lake, ruins, and settled areas. Got it. Oh, and swamp and woods. Oh. Load option. Okay.
Load.
I want to know what that means.
Yep.
Some monsters can be. Okay.
Okay. Pack animal. Turning a monster into a pack animal. Like I want to ride a Griffith or whatever. Okay.
Right. Fine. So it should have said load bearing or
exactly.
Pack animal.
Yeah. That was a little unclear in the get go.
Crafty's trying. You know that guy doesn't watch our show, right? I'm just saying. If he did, you just made him angry. But yes, Crafty's right. Some monsters can be harnessed to carry riders or loads of gear. Such monsters are given an encumbrance total the creature can carry. Normally, 2 numbers are given. The creature can carry up to the first number without difficulty, so not encumbered. It can carry up to the second number at no more than half its listed movement rates. Okay, so if you want to, make it a beast of burden, there you go. Barding multiplier. Okay, this is if you want to give it armor.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah. I don't care about that. Sorry, but if that's something you're really interested in, you probably either own the book or should go out and get it. Okay, abbreviated monster listing. This is what I was talking about before. I call it stat block, but okay, abbreviated monster listing. Again, those of us from the olden days can read this pretty quickly, and this is how you're going to see it written in modules. It's not going to be for today, so I'm not going to focus on it. What is this? Some entries slightly vary from the format shown above. Some, for instance, will alter the order in which statistics appear and may add other information. Don't be confused by the changes in order or the addition of extra statistics. The basic abbreviations are the same. Some of the extra abbreviations you'll see in variations of short monster description. What the hell? And variations of the short monster descriptions include, so hit points, HP, lowercase, special attack, special defense, yes, and everybody's favorite, oh, Thaco, we love you. I'm gonna write a Thaco hymn. All right, special attacks. Many monsters have special attacks which are mentioned in their descriptions. A character can usually avoid the effects of a special attack by making a successful saving throw. Each special attack which a creature has gives it an asterisk. So if it has like 17 asterisks, is that the plural of that?
I don't know. Either way, it's bad.
Yeah, right.
You have a bad time.
Let's see. Read the following carefully. All right, we've got some acid. We're not going to read all of these. Let's see. We want to read acid because that's just cool. Anything else in here you want to see? Energy drain. Got to do energy drain.
Yeah, because that doesn't give you a saving throw, and immunity to normal weapons.
Okay, we'll do those. Acid, just because I don't know. Just in an acid kind of mood. Acid damage is possible from the attacks of Black Dragon Breath, Grey Ooze, icky, and other creatures. The amount of damage done by an acid attack is given with the monster description. Normal items can be ruined if the victim of the acid attack fails a saving throw. Ouch.
Yeah. It gets all over your stuff, and your stuff starts to burn.
What about steel weapons? Aren't those acid etched?
Not in this time.
If it's a Damascus blade. Anyway, all right. Energy drain. All right. Let's see how bad energy drain is in Rule Cyclopedia. If people are going to quit the game because of energy drain, I've actually seen that happen in 2nd edition. This is a dangerous attack form with no saving throw allowed. Okay, well, there's the first.
Yeah, there's your problem.
If a character is hit by an energy drain attack by a white, for example, the character loses 1 level of experience. Bye-bye. With particularly nasty energy drainers, such as vampires, the character will lose 2 levels of experience. The energy drain removes all the benefits of the lost experience levels, hit points, spells, and so forth as soon as it occurs. The victim's experience point total drops to the mid-range, I'm guessing, or midpoint of the new level. Against powerful demi-humans, those who have advanced beyond level limits, the attack drains 1,000 to 100,000 or 101,000 to, so what's that? Oh, so let's just look at the math. Here we go. This is easier for me. 1d20 times 1,000 plus 100,000. That's okay. That's a lot of experience points. A first level character hit by energy drain attack is killed and often returned as an undead under the control of the Slayer.
See, I understand that, but I always house ruled that to you got to go to negative, because what about all the peasants who are 0 level? They're obviously alive, and going through their lives and tending fields and stuff. So I go from a 1st level fighter to a 0 level fighter. Dude, that's like every peasant out there. Why am I dying? I don't get it. But going to negative, I understand that. Yes. Then all your life force is gone and you're kaput. So I did that.
If not specified, this occurs 24 to 72 hours after death. Lost experience levels can be regained through the 7th level clerical spell Restore, or by earning the experience through normal adventuring.
That's a big ask, especially in the beginning.
Well, here's the thing. Rule Cyclopedia, you're not just jumping up the levels every single session or whatever, but you do level fairly quickly in this compared to, say, like AD&D.
Yeah, but you're going to have a 14th or 15th level cleric before that can actually come out.
Or go hire one?
Yeah, go, shell out your hard-earned ducats to the local clergy. Hope they have a 14th or 15th level cleric there that can cast a spell on you tomorrow.
There are some staples of old school Dungeons and Dragons that I think are verboten to touch. Alignment is one of them. I hate alignments. Everybody who's watched our show for any length of time know I hate alignments. But if I run Dungeons and Dragons, they have to be part of the game. the 6 stat block. Whatever order you want to do it in. I'm used to the 2nd edition, strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, but whatever order. Saving throws being interesting. Rod, staff, wand, petrification, polymorph, paralyzation, poison, death, magic, yada, yada. These are all staples. So is energy drain. I know a lot of game masters who change this rule because players cry. And yes, I have seen more people quit a Dungeons and Dragons table over energy drain than character death. I've also seen more people throw away characters, just gonna suicide now, after energy drain. Stop crying. Stop being a little baby. Oh, boo-hoo, I lost a level, all that time's wasted. It's not wasted. Because you were playing, hanging out with your friends, you still have the experience of killing whatever it was that you killed previously. You still have the experience of being a hero or villain, if that's what you're doing. Stop treating it like a computer game where it just must be graph go up. The game master, if he's a good game master, is still going to tailor the adventures to the party. And if the entire party was level 8 and then got level drained to level 5, guess what? He's going to be doing level 5 adventures, and you can, yes, absolutely make those interesting.
Yeah, and of course, if your game master is like, well, I know you're on level 5 now, but nobody else got hit by an energy attack, so you're just going through the same stuff as everybody else. You just gonna have to suck it up. Dude, you did this to me, and now I am an albatross to my group. And if the game master doesn't give any consideration to that, I'd be upset about that. I mean,
it depends on how many levels you lost. Because remember, level differences in old school D&D aren't that big of a deal.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would be huge is going, if you're above level 9 and going below level 9, because 9 is the name level. So you get a lot of cool stuff at that point. Now, all of your skills, your physical skills, yeah, you lose it. The fighter's special attacks, the charging and stuff like that, you'd lose that. But if you already have a wizard tower or you already have a fort, do you immediately lose the fort? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say you lose the fort. No,
I wouldn't either. I mean, the local lord could say, "Oh no, yeah, someone else has to take care of it now because you just don't have the." Whatever. That is possible, but that's really lame.
And I think Crafting Gamer puts a comment that that is the problem, and I used to think this way as well. It says, I really don't like level drain. Here, let me put it on the screen.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Had it.
Really don't like level drain as a GM. My players have worked their asses off, practice train, and yet undead creature can just make them forget all of that. Stupid. It doesn't have to be forget. You're so shaken by the experience that, yeah, let's say you went from, I'm going to be using a lot of 2nd edition here because I know it better. You went from having 2 attacks per round back to having 3 attacks every 2 round. It's because you're shaken. You hesitate a little bit more now. Your hair has got a little bit of white in it where it didn't have before, and the character just has lost some confidence, has lost some bearing. Even that barbarian who's like, I'm not afraid of anything, has that secret like ooh, something that's just kind of taken back. Yeah, I know technically you can lose a skill, but that's actually, if you look at these older games, unless you're playing with the skill system, which you don't have to do, you really don't necessarily lose any skills. You're just worse at them. And you can describe it away through many, many, many different methods. It's not just, I forgot. Believe me, for years I thought the same way. There are a couple of books I read, a couple of blog posts I read, and there are people that I've talked to that completely changed my mind on that. It's not a matter of forgetting. It's a matter of the effect that something as horrible that touches the negative material plane has on your soul effectively. That's what it's supposed to represent. I just wish it was worded better. We have a super chat?
Yep.
Touchdown Dead, use energy drain to get the party to do something without violence. To get the party to do something without violence? Can you explain that a little more?
Could be that
Like the threat of it?
Yeah, the threat of energy drain could,
Okay.
an unintelligent undead, like say a vampire, can use the threat of energy drain to get the party to do something or to leave or whatever.
And Polyrobox, thanks again for the $20. Yeah, I think that's a great use. And it's fun to do something like that to an NPC. Again, don't know if it's like this here. Maybe we'll find out in a moment. But Ghosts in second edition. Okay, you're 10 years older now.
Yep.
And that was a good roll. Hold on, let me suck a little more, just so you can see it kick in. Wrinkles form on my face. Like, let me die. Arthritis is set in. I have osteoporosis. That could be you. Or maybe I'm the malevolent spirit that can make a deal with you. So, yeah.
Oh, no, now he's a shifter.
No, he's a shifter. For those who are watching this video, don't get the reference. That's from Riffs, and Ethan Dog loves shifters. Yeah. Loves.
That's it.
All right, let's move on here. In general, a monster with the energy drain ability must make a conscious attack with it for the power to take effect. You can't just be, oh crap! I'm sorry, I didn't
mean to. Yeah, it's not Midas's touch.
Yeah, right.
You gotta want it.
In other words, a vampire could pick up and carry a human without harming him or her if the vampire wished to do so. Likewise, a mystic could attack a vampire with his bare hands and not lose experience levels just from hitting the vampire.
Yeah.
All right, and then you said you wanted to see...
Immunity normal weapons, right there.
There's immunity normal weapons. There we go. Bam. All right, so what does this say? Let me scroll over here. Many enchanted monsters are completely immune to the effect of normal weapons. These creatures are especially dangerous to low-level characters who are less likely to have magical weapons available. Some of these creatures, like Anthrops for example, are vulnerable to silver weapons, while others are even immune to some magic weapons. For instance, some monsters are immune to normal weapons and weapons of +1 magical bonus, a +2 or more. So you have to, I have a magic weapon. Yeah, but it's not cool enough.
Is it magic enough?
Is it magic enough, right?
Yeah.
The greater the immunity, the more dangerous the monster is. Monsters with those immunities have an asterisk because asterisk equals just bad for the players.
Yeah.
All right, let's are we at, oh my god, spell immunity. Anything important in there? Special defense. Undead are immune to, okay, yeah, we should probably, undead are immune to all forms of charm, sleep, and hold spells. Many fire-using creatures are immune to fire-type spells. Some powerful creatures may be immune to spells of lower power, such as first and second level spells, possibly in addition to immunity to a specific type of spell. When a spell immunity is mentioned, it applies to all spell-like effects as well. I would think that is assumed, but I also know how players are, so yeah, exactly. There's a reason that's written in there, including those produced by monsters or devices. For example, immunity to all first and through third level spells also confers immunity to fireballs from a Wanderer's Staff, since fireball is a third level spell. However, Dragon Breath is a natural ability of dragons, not a magical one, and is not affected unless a description mentions it specifically. Fair enough. Okay. Monster types. We already kind of talked about that. Normal animals. We got that. Construct, monster, enchanted monsters. Okay. Let's see. And each one of these has a... Let's actually look at constructs, because that one, I think, changes throughout the editions. Okay. I might be wrong about that, but construct is a monster that is not actually alive, like a golem. A golem is a construct. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I put elementals under constructs, but that might not be true in this case. But which has been created magically. Thus, all constructs are also enchanted monsters.
Sure.
A lesser construct can be hit by any weapon. Lesser constructs include living statues. A greater construct can be hit only by magical weapons. They're very costly to make.
Makes sense.
Not the weapon. The construct is costly to make.
I got it.
I know you did, but greater constructs include really? A gargoyle is a greater construct?
I guess.
Interesting. Okay. And golems. I expected the golems. The following general rules apply to all constructs. And this is why I read this, because I kind of want to show that, hey, this is why these terms matter. They can be created only if the proper magical process is used. Rules for their creation are given in chapter 16, which I'm guessing we haven't got to yet. They do not heal normally. Yep. Magic must be used to cure them of any damage incurred. That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. They are immune to the effects of poison since they are not alive. And mental effects, charm. Oh, That's kind of tough. All right. I mean, the golem I get, but the gargoyle, you'd think you'd be able to mentally affect him, right? Nope. And they do not reproduce. Oh, man. There goes my Oh, no, I better not say it's family friendly. My, see, what would be the equivalent for furry? Constructy. They do not reproduce. They are never, what? Baby. Oh, there are never baby gargoyles. That's just a weird hyphen.
I know, yeah. It took me a second to put that word together as well. Longer than I want to admit.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. They're never baby gargoyles. Okay. Cool. All right. Do we need to read anything else? Type of okay. Humanoids, types of humans. So this is where you get to some of your random roles here.
Right.
Reasons for appearing.
Across a party of humans. Well, is it a hunting party? Is it a pilgrimage? Whatever. And then
do me a favor, roll a D8.
What it's going to be comprised of.
Can you roll a D8 for me?
Sure. 6.
Okay. 6. So you come across human, not what they seem. The NPCs are not mere humans. They may be lycanthropes, doppelgangers, gold dragons, etc. The DM should determine the monster type and run the monsters normally. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Bunch of damn werewolves.
I'm more scared of the doppelgangers, dude. Don't they turn you into other doppelgangers?
I don't know.
Or is that simulacrums?
Dragons, like a whole group of gold dragons just walking around as humans and stuff. Like, hey, Ted, what are you doing, Bill?
Ted the dragon.
Ted the dragon.
Ted the magic dragon. All right. Let's look at a couple of monsters in here. We're definitely going to look at one or two undead. Anything that you like that's classical Dungeons and Dragons that we want to look at.
Well, it's going to hurt people's feelings, so we might as well look at vampire.
Okay, we'll look at a vampire. How about a rust monster?
Ugh, gross. Rust monster.
Yeah, but again, it's gelatinous cube. What's that?
Some kind of giant.
Giant. Okay, gelatinous cube, giant, rust monster, vampire.
Okay,
that should be enough. And if anybody in chat, we'll pick one. The chat can chime in too, and we'll pick one from chat. Herd animal, aerial servants, snow apes. What was the first one we talked? So giants.
You mean a yeti?
Right. Banshee. A giant bee? No. Nobody wants
giant bees. Oh man. Oh.
His name is Smiley.
No. That's
we should have looked at a bee holder. Blink dog, bugbear. I already forgot what we said we were gonna look at. So carrion crawler is actually another one that's pretty iconic.
Gross.
Giant centipede. Look at all these monsters in this book, dude. That's just a ton of them. Oh, wait, dolphins. What? Oh, yeah, I guess you can have sea adventures, right? What are these? These must be dragons, yeah. These are dragons. Well, that shield's taken the breath weapon so far, so good, right?
Yeah, that doesn't have much of a cone AoE on it. It's more of a pew-pew gun.
It's like a laser.
Yeah.
Subduing dragon. Look at this entire, by the way, this entire thing that I've been scrolling through is all dragons. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dragon turtle, okay. Dryad, elementals, oh my god. There's a lot more monsters in here than I thought. Okay, you said giants are going to be coming up soon, so I guess we're going to start with the giants. Well, there's your gargoyle. No, we said gelatinous cube, okay.
Yeah, gelatinous cube, there it is.
All right, armor class is 8, so it's pretty easy to hit.
I don't know if you want to, but all right.
Okay. Hit dice, 4, asterisk large. Okay, so why do we have an asterisk on the hit dice? Well, I guess we're going to have to read below and find out.
No, we know. It's enchanted.
I thought that was in when it was up here.
It's on the hit dice. It is.
Was this okay? For some reason, I thought it was in the name.
Nope.
Because like the gargoyle is in the name.
I don't think so.
And there's 2 in hit dice. Oh, okay. So move is 60 or 20 would be outside. Damage 2d4 plus special. Oh, you know it's always fun to have a special.
Yeah, everyone.
Morale is 12. Guess what that means? It doesn't run away. No. It's too stupid to run away.
Number of appearing 1 parenthetical 0, which means you're not going to run across a gelatinous cube on the road.
Right. This is only a dungeon creature.
Only a dungeon thing. So if you're on top of the ground, you're fine. What gelatinous cubes are concerned, you're fine. See,
I'm going to retire. Some people in chat already know what I'm going to say. My goal is I want to retire from being an adventurer and become a gelatinous cube rancher. Now, why? You might ask yourself why. There's a lot of money in that. Everybody's building sewer systems nowadays because for some reason every medieval town acts like it was created in the 20th century.
Fair.
So I am going to I'm going to husband gelatinous cubes and sell them to cities in need.
So they can put them in their sewers,
And keep them clean.
lock up the openings, right? You don't want kids running around in there. And just have them walk around or goo around and clean everything up. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me that isn't a racket ready to go.
And you don't sell them, you rent them.
Well, no, I mean, it'd be like getting a dog from a breeder, or a horse from a breeder. So I'd breed them, only the best.
Oh, of course. Only the choice gelatinous cubes.
How do you find out? Well, taste it and find out. Well, let's see what happens if you taste it. So the monster type is common. See, there you go. They're common. This monster looks like a great quantity of clear jelly, usually in the form of a 10 by 10 by 10 cube. It's hard to see, and it surprises often. It's got a 66% chance of surprising you on a 1-4 or 1-2-4 on a 1d6. Gelatinous cube moves through the rooms and corridors of a dungeon, sweeping the halls clean of all living and dead material. In the process, it may pick up items it cannot dissolve, such as weapons, coins, gems. Gelatinous cube will attack any living creature it encounters. Any successful hit will do damage to the victim and will also paralyze him unless a saving throw versus paralysis is made. So eating it is probably not a smart idea.
No. But that's just another reason to get it for your sewage needs, because this eliminates all of those scary sewer crocodiles.
Yeah.
If you're worried about sewer crocodiles.
If you I flushed it. Where are we? This paralysis lasts 2d4 turns. Remember how long a turn is?
Turns 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's a while. Average would be what, 5 in that roll? So average of 50 minutes. Basically, you're out of commission for an hour. I wonder how long it takes to dissolve you. An attack on a paralyzed target automatically hits. The gelatinous cube will continue attacking creatures until it dies, or they do. If it wins, it sweeps up the dead with all the other trash and continues on its path.
The other trash. You're trash now.
Well, you're a corpse, right?
Well, yeah, you're corpse. So yeah, trash. Get it out.
Gelatinous cube may be harmed by fire and weapons, but not by cold or lightning. You can't freeze one, apparently.
Nope.
Excuse me. The lair of these strange monsters may contain 1d4 cubes, each with treasure type V, which we're not going to really go into, but usually no additional treasure. The lair will not have any young gelatinous cubes. Adults simply split into 2 fully grown cubes.
Yep.
No baby cubes.
Nope.
Oh. Well, that's good. You know what? I don't have to raise them now.
Nope.
And
you get money on the back end if you actually sell gelatinous cubes to towns. After a while, the sewers are going to be lousy with gelatinous cubes, and you're going to have to go and they're going to have to pay you again to take them away.
So that's when you bring the adventurers in and say, look at this, pay me, and you can come down here and get some free experience.
There it is. Well, I wouldn't say free, but yeah.
Well, pay me
in a controlled environment.
It's like your own little arena.
I know. It's all wins here.
And if you want to do the bonus plan, go ahead and read Padar's comment.
Where is it?
The one about the black pudding?
Oh yeah, here we go. Legion Myth, black pudding in a box with a hole in the top, sold as garbage disposal.
See, you either become competition that I have to take out, or
people mistake your box for a glory hole, and you get sued. No, that's a horrible idea. In Max's idea, the sewers are locked up, and gelatinous cubes can't go up drains, but black puddings, they can fit through small openings.
But here's the thing. You sell the gelatinous cube like you would an RV. It's the toilet in a box. Now, when you're on your adventures...
I would not sit on that box. I would not do it.
Look, man, it's all in the marketing. You can market it.
All in the marketing.
All right, let's get moving on here. So that's the gelatinous cube. We next said giants. There's a knoll. There's a golem. Gray ooze. GI. Okay, I've somehow passed GI. Goblin, knoll. Oh, here are all the giants. Oh, wow. Which giant you want to look at, man?
Stone giant.
Stone giant. Okay, so stone giants. All right. So armor class of 4. Hit dice 9. Large. Movement 120, but 40 outside. So that's got normal human movement.
Yep.
Attacks 1 with a weapon. Damage is 3d6 with that weapon. That's ouchies.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is a giant, right?
Yeah, it's a giant, so big weapon. Get it.
Number appearing 1 to 2 if it's in a dungeon. Oh, but it's 1 to 6 if it's outside.
Well,
That's Ma, Pa, and 4 little brats. And by little brats, we mean like 9 foot
bigger
tall.
than you.
Yeah, a little bigger than you, brats. Saves as a fighter of 9th level. Treasure type is E plus 5,000 gold pieces. Turn those in for experience. Intelligence is 10. They're not dumb.
No.
Average intelligence. Alignment is neutral. Well, at least they're neutral. You know, they're not trying to necessarily wipe you out. But then again, that neutral could be like you're in my territory and we stamp out people that do that. You never know. And worth 900 experience points each.
Which is fine.
Let's see what it says down here. Stone giants. Oh, they're 14 feet tall. That's it. Oh my God. So these giants are 14 feet tall and have gray rock-like skin. They use large stalactites as clubs. They often hurl rocks at a range of 100, 200, or 300 yards. Well, yards or feet, depending if it's downstairs or outside. They live in caves or crude stone huts and may have 1d4 cave bears as guards on top of...
That's their Rottweilers.
They Rottweilers.
Have bears as Rottweilers.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, yeah. You have a very angry dog. Well, I have a very angry bear. I think I win.
Yeah. So they're not a joke. That's for dang sure. Goblins, golems, gray ooze, gremlins. Okay, so we wanted vampire, and there was one other. I already forgot what the other one was.
So did I.
Well, if we come across it. Halfling. Halfling is a monster. That's awesome.
I agree.
There you go. It's a monster right there for you. Ghosts. I forgot what else we said, but get to Hellhound. It's got a lot of asterisks.
Right. That's a lot of asterisks.
Yeah. Horde. Just a horde.
Yeah, just a horde of whatever. Horde of what? I don't know.
Sure.
Stuff.
Yes, a horde of yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's humans.
Yeah. Well, no, it's going to be some kind of small animal.
Hydra. Does it go by heads? Oh, 1. Yeah, hit dice 1 per head, so it has between 5 and 12 heads. Okay, good to note. Invisible stalker. Oh, that's great. Kobold. We're only in the K's, dude. Okay, we're gonna do your vampire. I forgot what the other one was we want to talk about. Who cares at this point? We're gonna go to vampire. Oh my God, that's N. No, this is but I'm doing this partially for a reason. Oh, my face. Okay, we're looking at the shadow. This is everybody knows this is my favorite monster of all time ever, at least in 2nd edition. Shadow. So armor class is 7. Hit dice 2+2, but has to have a magic item. Can only be hit by magic.
Or has some special vulnerability.
It's a little slow.
Fair.
Attacks 1, damage 1d4 plus special. Oh, I can't wait to read that special. Holy crap. 1d8
in the dungeon or 1d12 if you happen to run across it just walking about. That sucks.
So in 2nd edition, if you're prepared in any way, shape, or form for a shadow, they're pretty easy to beat.
Yeah.
The shadow's strength is you not knowing it's there and the nasty that it can do to you by draining your strength. We'll see if it does the same thing here. Morale is 12. Again, why not? It's undead and doesn't care and it hates you. Treasure type F. Oh, its intelligence is 4. That's nice. Alignment chaotic. It's only worth 35 experience. So I don't know if it's going to have the same gravitas as the 2nd edition one. All right. So it's monster, enchanted, rare. This monster is not undead. Okay. Good to know. So guess who's not turning it?
Clerics.
Shadows are non-corporeal, intelligent creatures found in eerie, dark places such as dungeons, deep forests, or ruins. Okay. They can only be harmed by magical weapons. They look like real shadows and can alter their shapes slightly. Shadows are hard to see and gain surprise 1 to 5 on a d6. That's like an 80.
They gain surprise most of the time.
If I remember my math, that's like 85%. If a shadow scores a hit, it will drain 1 point of strength in addition to doing normal damage. Now we know what the special is. This weakness will last for 8 turns, 80 minutes. Any creature whose strength is reduced to 0 becomes a shadow immediately.
Awesome.
Shadows are not affected by sleep or charm spells, but they are not undead and cannot be turned by clerics. Here's my rub with this. It will drain 1 point of strength, and it did. Oh no, never mind. I was mistaken. I was confusing round and turn. So I was saying 8 turn. That means if you have a strength higher than 8, you can't be brought to 0. But no, I was confusing rounds and turns.
80 minutes. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I love Shadow so much. And if you're smart about it, Game Masters, it shouldn't just be like boop doop doop. We know that's a shadow there. No. Shadows are going to get you when you least expect it. Sharks, skeletons. Okay, vampires. Where the hell is the vampire? We got to get to the next segment. We got to talk about immortal characters. Tree ants, triceratops, more dinosaurs. Hey, that's my last adventuring party.
All right.
And the vampire, or as Heathen Dog was corrected on, the Wampire.
Whatever. All right.
That was for a different game. All right, armor class is 2. Ooh, that's a tough guy to hit.
That's pretty good.
Hit dice is 7 to 9 and requires a magical weapon to hit.
All the asterisks everywhere.
Yep, well, we'll get to those when we read the description. Move 120. So, starting right now, as a walker, he's the same speed as you. But he can fly at 180. He has 1 touch attack or special. You don't want the special.
Sure.
Damage. Hey, it's a D10 plus a double energy drain.
Or special.
Double energy drain means
sounds awesome.
2 of those levels.
And you can come across, depending on where you are, up to 6 at one time.
Yeah, if they're bebopping outside.
Yeah.
Hanging out in the woods.
That's great. You're going to have a great time.
If by great you mean...
horrible, yeah.
Well, the Dungeon Master's going to have a great time. So saves as a fighter of 7th to 9th level, depending on. Morale's 11. You know, they are smart. So at some point, they might say, you know what? I want to leave. But they're undead, and they're evil, chaotic. But
it's going to take a lot
Yep.
To make them run.
Don't let... You know what's kind of cool? I like the fact that they only have average intelligence here. And not super genius like everybody always plays them. But here's the thing. Just because he passes a morale check doesn't mean he still can't retreat. In fact, I will tell you in my game, and I think Heathen Dog agrees with this, but we'll find out. You will never defeat a vampire if you are not prepared for it.
No. It will run away once it gets to, say, below half its hit points. It's now planning its exit strategy during combat. And it has a lot of ways to just exit stage left.
And a lot of time.
Yeah. And it will do that. So you're going to have to trap it there.
By the way, this is experience points values for 7 hit die, 8 hit die, 9 hit die.
Yeah.
All right, so what does it say? Undead, you think? Enchanted rare. All right, vampires are among the most feared of the undead. They haunt ruins, tombs, crypts, and other places deserted by man, but fly out at night to prey on man.
Sure.
Abilities. Vampires are unaffected by sleep, charm, and hold spells, and can only be hit with magical weapons.
Sure.
Really? You don't say. A vampire may take the form of a human, a dire wolf, a giant bat, or a gaseous cloud at will. It's that gaseous cloud that every time just gets them away. Each change takes 1 round. Whatever its form, a vampire regenerates 3 hit points per round, starting as soon as it is damaged. So it doesn't have to wait a minute, an hour, another round, whatever. Right there. At the end of the round, guess what it does? Boop, 3 hit points.
Yep.
If a vampire is reduced to 0 hit points, it does not regenerate, but becomes gaseous and flees to its coffin. So automatically at 0 hit points, it's like, I'm out.
And it gets away. But you know where it's going.
Well, if you know where its coffin is.
You can follow it, hopefully.
At a
'Cause
speed of
yes,
180?
it is visible. I mean, but if there's already a fog, well, you're screwed.
Well, right, but also speed of 180 if it's not near its coffin. You never know. Yeah. In dire wolf or giant bat form, the vampire's move, attack, and damage are those of the animal. Vampire's armor class, hit dice, morale, and saving throws remain unchanged. Well, this dire wolf is really hard to hit. Weird.
Yeah.
In gaseous form, a vampire cannot attack, doesn't need to, but can fly at the speed given above. And is immune to all weapon attacks.
See, I use that to my advantage. It says all weapon attacks. So what I did was I had the cleric holify my water skin, poked a bunch of holes in it, and I squirted it at him.
No, absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, holy water, bitch.
But that requires planning.
Yeah.
In human form, a vampire can attack by gaze or touch, or it can summon other creatures. Oh, that's fabulous.
Awesome.
The touch of a vampire inflicts double energy drain, removing 2 levels of experience, as we mentioned. In addition to damage, the creature's gaze can charm.
Sure.
Listen to me. Yes, baby, I listen to you. Any victim who meets the gaze may make a saving throw versus spells to avoid the charm, but with a -2 penalty to the roll.
Because all vampires are sexy vampires. There it is.
The vampire may summon any one of the following creatures, which will come to its aid if they're within 300 feet or 300 yards outdoors. 10 to 100 rats. Now, you might be like, so what? They're rats.
No, 100 rats, dude? Come on.
100 rats, even if only 10 of them successfully bite you? Giant rats. Oh, look at that. You could have 20.
Yeah.
Giant bats. So as the rats are biting your feet, the bats are flopping around. 2d8 dire wolves. Which one's the vampire?
Ah, there you go. Yep. There it is.
That's like a free mirror image right there.
That is a way to escape. You summon the dire wolves, turn into a dire wolf, and you all go a different direction.
Yep. Any character slain by a vampire will return from death in 3 days as a vampire under the control of the slayer. I'm 13th generation. There can be vampire spellcasters. Oh, awesome.
Monster
Great.
Spellcasters later in the chapter.
Yeah,
okay.
that's no. Weaknesses. Oh, look, there's a lot of weaknesses, though.
Well, yeah.
A vampire cannot come within 10 feet of a strongly presented holy symbol. So remember our Teamster cleric? If you believe in Jimmy Hoffa that much, vampire can't come get you. Although one would argue you're the vampire. Just saying. Though it can move to attack from another direction. The odor of garlic repels a vampire. The creature must make a successful saving throw versus poison or stay at least 10 feet away from the garlic during that round. Oh, so at some point he's going to make his save.
Yeah.
That's temporary.
Yeah, it is a temporary thing, but it's also an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, all you gotta do is have a bulb of garlic and a garlic press, and whenever a vampire gets near, you squish one. And then the smell goes everywhere, and they're like, oh, you stink. And they don't come near you.
Vampires cannot cross running water either on foot or flying. Oh. Except at bridges or while in their coffins.
Okay. Good to know.
During the day, a vampire usually rests in its coffin. Notice it said usually. Failure to do so results in loss of 2d6 hit points per day. These hit points are not regenerated until the vampire rests in its coffin for a full day. A vampire casts no reflection and avoids mirrors. Oh my god, there's still more?
Yep.
A vampire may be destroyed by driving a wooden stake through its heart or by immersion in running water for 1 turn. Yeah, you get to hold it down for 1 turn.
Or, when it turns into mist, goes back to its coffin, you nail the coffin shut and throw it in the river.
There you go. If a vampire is exposed to direct sunlight, the creature must make a saving throw versus death ray each round or disintegrate. Now, that's rough. It's not just damage, it's disintegrate.
No, it's death. It's just instant.
Oh, that reminds me of the scene in Interview with the Vampire now when the sun hit them, they just turned to ash and crumbled.
Yep.
A continual light spell will not disintegrate a vampire. Oh. You know what? That's fair. For a moment I was like, duh, it's not Sunray, but I don't know if Sunray exists in this version of the game. Probably does, but yeah, that's just light. That's not sunshine light. If all the vampire's coffins are blessed or destroyed, the vampire will weaken, taking 2d6 hit points of damage per day. It dies. Thank you. When its hit points are reduced to 0. Got it. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Check that out. When You reduce a vampire to 0 hit points. It turns to mist, goes to its coffin.
Mm-hmm.
You set the coffin on fire, and you step back. If there is another coffin, the mist will lead you to it because it has to go to the other coffin. And you just keep following it and burn all of its coffins. And then it dies. Because it can't regenerate and it's at 0.
Does it have any of its abilities in its gaseous form? Any of them?
No, no. It can't do shit. It can't do anything. It cannot attack and cannot be the target of weapon attacks.
No, I'm just wondering,
it has no eyes, so it can't gaze at you, and it has no physical body, so it can't.
No, I was thinking more the level drain.
No, yeah, it can't touch you. The level drain requires touch, and it physically can't touch you.
I might still rule that if a character decides to dance inside it, you know how players get, can't hurt me, can't hurt me.
You're not touching me. You're not touching me. Yeah, I get it.
All right. Well, there you go. Vampires are pretty cool. I don't think the vampires changed much over the years, because that seems very similar to what I remember even from later editions of D&D. But I think you guys, we've covered enough here. This segment has been way too long. Well, I shouldn't say way too long, but it's been long enough. But there is changing monsters. It talks about basic ways to do that. If you want to put in chat and say we should have covered this, you can do that. I'm going to skip it for now. Monster intelligence, I think I am going to look at that, though. Because this is something that people do wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Or misunderstand. I shouldn't say do wrong, misunderstand. The intelligence of a creature is a valuable guide to role-playing an encounter. Stupid creatures may make tactical errors in combat. Smart ones may surprise characters with brilliant traps. Mm-hmm. Verbal assaults, and fast reactions to unexpected situations. Intelligence is also needed to find the results of charm or maze spell. In the monster list, average intelligence scores are given for each monster race, but individuals may have higher or lower intelligence. Spellcasters always have higher than average intelligence, for instance, leaders often do. Oh, for instance, and semicolon leaders. Okay, got it. To determine the intelligence of an individual, find the average intelligence of its race from the monster description. Go to the line corresponding to that monster intelligence table. Roll 2d6. Is that going to be down here? Here you go. Here's the variance.
The first die is what?
The first die is used to determine how much the individual intelligence varies from the race's average, and the second one is to determine whether to add or subtract.
Okay, then 3 and 1.
So variance 3, and then 1. Wait a minute.
Is 0.
To determine intelligence, average. Go to the line corresponding. That's going to monster intelligence. Okay, roll 2d6. We'll just do the vampire thing. Let's start at 10, right?
Yeah.
The first die is used to determine how much this individual's intelligence varies from the race's average.
Okay.
You rolled a
column corresponding.
Okay. So it's right here. So I was reading it wrong. So you're 9 to 12. So the maximum variance is 4. So the first one is to determine you rolled a 3. So you rolled a 3?
Yes.
Okay. So that means it's going to be plus or minus 2, but now you roll to see if it's plus or minus 2.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's plus or if it's minus. 1 to 3 is minus, 4 to 6 is plus.
Minus.
Okay,
3.
so you're actually an intelligence of 8. You're a dumb vampire.
Oh, dumb vampire. Oh. I didn't want to be a dumb vampire.
It gives an example there. Size talks about, size.
But remember, as a game master, you can increase or decrease the intelligence of your creatures however you want. You know, if they are important to the story, they may want to be higher than the listed variants. But like I said, be careful of going above 50% more than the maximum.
Just pick a new creature at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a vampire of 15 intelligence would probably be okay. You know, it's a spellcasting vampire. It's fine. Now, Dracula, if you want to make Dracula, he's going to be the super boss vampire. He could have 18 to 20. That's fine too.
This is done. It's Strahd in Dungeons and Dragons. Stop with your IP infringement.
Sorry.
Weird. And then it's got other concepts for. Wow, is that a Cyclops? Wow,
yep,
it is
a Cyclops spellcaster,
and we don't like that. The use of magic spells is not limited to humans and elves. Many humanoid races have their own magic users, clerics, and even druids. A non-human cleric or druid is known as a shaman, and non-human magic user as a wokan.
Okay,
they changed that to something else later. Shaman, what is it? in second edition? It's shaman and oh my god, I can picture it. I can't think of it. Not witch. Witch doctor. Witch doctor.
Yeah, witch doctor.
See, shamans and Wokani do not know all the usual spells. The spells they do know, they often cast in an unusual manner, involving dancing. It's dancing. Shouts and howls and waving strange items like somebody's head or feces. The non-human spellcasters that are known are listed below, along with their maximum levels attainable by each. Some individuals may be both classes, shaman and woken, but then the maximum level for each class is half of what's listed. Note that most non-humans in a tribe or lair know nothing of magic and may fear or distrust it. Only the rare shamans in Wakani know how to use it. These spellcasters often use their skills to rise to positions of powers within their tribe. Only one non-human in 20 is a spellcaster, and many groups have no Wakani, only a shaman. Spells usable by shamans Wakani are listed below. Shamans and Wakani do not know and cannot learn spells other than these. All right, we got it. Jeez. Shamans Wakani cannot read scrolls, but may use other magic items. Shaman can only use clerical items. Wakan can use items by magic users. Got it. All right, don't care about the hit points. Important note. All right, it says important. I'll read it. The table below, for the most part, does not list monsters that can cast spells as full members of the appropriate character class. For instance, men, liches, because, why not? Devilfish? That's what it says, right?
Yep.
I'm sure that there's a mash of devilish, maybe is what it's supposed to say. Fiendish.
I'm gonna go with devilfish. It's a really good visual in my head.
It is. Sphinxes, etc. Such creatures are not limited to the spell list for Shaman and Wakani. All right, so let's look at this list. Wow. That's a bigger list than I was expecting. So dryads can become 10th level druids. That kind of makes sense. It's a dryad, right?
Yeah.
Where's your vampire? Vampires can become shaman and Wakani of 9th level.
Yeah.
With a G. At the DM's discretion, a vampire spellcaster can be a full magic user or cleric, not limited to the shaman Wokan spell list below.
That would make sense if the vampire in life was a cleric or a magic user. Then that would just carry over. But if it learned magic after being turned, then it would use the rules for monsters. I get that. That makes sense. All
right. Here are the spells. We're not going to read them off. You can see them. And the spells for the Wakani. A little bit more for the Wakani than for the shaman. Sure. My God, how many monster pages are there?
Lots and lots of monster pages. Okay,
Immortal starts there. God. So we're here. We got 2 pages left. Special monster spellcasters, lycanthropes, and undead. I do want actually, the undead one does seem to be a little bit more interesting. Spellcasters. Okay, a spellcaster slain by an undead may retain use of spells after returning as undead. Okay. Several undead spellcasters are listed above in the main monster list. If a cleric becomes a mummy through the process known only to the ancient high priests of certain religions, Egypt. Sorry, just in case. In Forgotten Realms, it's the old ones. The undead mummy may use clerical spells to the full extent possessed in life. God's forgiving.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I understand you're an evil jackass now, and you're not supporting the holy cause. But hey, you still have a lot of passion for this stuff. Have at it.
Or you were evil anyway, and it was an evil god, and he thinks you look better as a mummy. So.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. May control other undead as well. A mummy magic user is limited to 3rd level in ability, even if it had higher spells in its previous life.
That's lame.
You lose something when you get wrapped in bandages, apparently.
Fair.
Undead lieges and pawns. You can read that later. Benefits to a liege. Attempts to gain control of undead. This is going to be very similar to the turning table that we read later. So if Heathen Dog is his cleric, he's a thief. Shut up. He's a cleric now. And he's 9th level, and he decides he wants to control some skeletons. It just automatically happens. Control is automatic. He rolls 2d6, and that's how many he controls. Other than that, he needs to roll. If he wants to roll 2d6, I'll let him, else I'm moving on. All right, I'm moving on. Turning controlled undead, duration of control, energy drainers. This is all stuff for evil clerics and monsters for the dungeon master to know. I don't want you to know as a player. That's my excuse for not reading. No, really, this has gone on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and we have an entire Immortals section right here to cover, and Heathen Dog's got the biggest game in the entire world to talk about after that. So we are going to end it there. Really, no, I'm honest about this, guys. If you have complaints that we skip some things, go ahead and put them. Maybe we can come back to them later. Some people get really angry because we're supposed to be doing read-throughs that we skip certain sections of it. I know he got a lot of flack for that when he did read-throughs in the past. I get a little bit when I skip certain sections that you guys think are really important. If you think I skipped something important that I should have covered this, let me know. Else, what do you think of monsters? What do you think of the monster write-ups? Do you like the idea of the monsters being in the same book that the players get to look at to make their characters? To be fair, it is Rule Cyclopedia. It's kind of meant to be a conglomeration of everything that Dungeons & Dragons kind of put together at that point for basic, but you get what I'm saying?
So I can forgive it, but usually I don't like that.
Yeah, same here. All right, go ahead. What do we have started?
All right, we got some stuff here. Heathen Dog may be a dumb vampire, but he's a pretty one, because if he is, he's keeping up with the tradition of female privilege. That's right. I'm a sparkle vampire from that movie series. What's that called?
Twilight.
That's it. Yeah. There he goes. I'm a
I was going to say that or
Twilight.
Buffy. I couldn't remember.
I'm a sparkle vampire from Twilight, so it works out well. And
you made me spit out coffee.
There you go. Super Soaker is the best anti-vampire weapon ever. Not in D&D. In Palladium,
or anywhere
yes,
ever.
In D&D, no. A Super Soaker is just going to make a vampire upset.
Wet.
Because it's all dry clean only. His cape is dry clean only, people. Come on. That's silk, man. That's silk. And then, of course, Cyclops spellcasters always messing up the range they cast their fireballs due to lack of depth perception. That's fair. That's 100% fair. I like that.
I started one from Crafty at one point.
And that looks like about it.
Should have been one from Crafty that I started.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you did. Here we go. Those players are weak and their DM is a cuck. That's the whole energy drain thing.
Yeah. No, the reason why I wanted to start that is because let's be honest, Crafty's always trying to get people spun up on stuff. But the idea is you're playing this game. Now, there are people out there who prefer other games. Some people prefer Palladium Fantasy. Some people prefer Forbidden Lands. You get the idea. If you're playing this game, Dungeons & Dragons just has some staples to it that I think give it the heart and soul that it is, whether you like it or not. Level draining is one of them. Absolutely. I understand that it sucks. It sucks worse in the advanced editions of the games because leveling is slower. But it is an aspect of the game. And taking that out is one of those important staples that, to me, starts turning it away from being Dungeons & Dragons. That by itself doesn't do it, but is definitely one of those things that I look at a game master, well, I don't do it because my players don't like it. Well, your players need to grow up. Or maybe if that's the case, how about don't put those type of undead in your game then?
Yeah.
Why do everything by random tables? Awesome.
Well, then
they're
do
there.
Everything by random tables.
Well, you could say that, or they're there if what do you like to say, Heathen Dog? You roll the dice, you take chances.
You roll your dice, you take your chances. That's right.
Like, what are you doing? Stop it.
I have seen game masters change it to, instead of lasting forever, it lasts like the whole shadow strength draining thing, where it comes back after a period of time. Yeah,
but that kind of defeats the purpose of things like restoration or whatever it's called.
I get it, but just make the period of time freaking long. If the vampire is not dead, every level takes a certain amount of months to come back on its own. If you killed the vampire after it did this to you, it's the certain amount of weeks. It'll come back on its own. Still very detrimental, especially if you had to run away and it's still alive, because you're going to be minus levels for months.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like, okay, well, then my character is boned forever. No, it's not boned forever. As a matter of fact, after this adventure, it will be a great time to do a time skip so everyone can do stuff behind the scenes. And lo and behold, when you come back, guess what? You're back.
I don't like the hand waving of it. Otherwise, it kind of makes it not
Well, you're not going to do
relevant.
that every time, but you know, if you wanted, you know, the fighter just got to ninth level, he wants to make his keep. That's going to take a couple of months of time skip to actually do. And during that time, if you happen to be, you know, suffering from an energy drain, well, lucky you. But if no one wants to take a break, then sorry, push through.
I played with a game master who actually did the, hey, if you're energy drained, you're energy drained. If you're energy drained 2, 3, 4 times, sucks to be you, but that's what happened. Until you killed it.
Yeah.
Then you got everything back. I'm okay with that one. Because think about it. If it already energy drained you once, and now you're a level lower,
it's going to be much harder to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But killing it technically breaks the contact with the negative material plane. And so getting your energy back, I can see that as an explanation.
Yeah.
I can. Okay. Now, normally, if I'm the game master and I don't want that to happen, I'd say no. It fed off of your life force to stay in this world. Your life force is gone. It's vampire poop, whatever that is.
Sure.
So it's just gone. That's entirely valid as well. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be. You don't get them back, even if you kill it.
Remember, it's a game. You know what? In Monopoly, you can lose, or you can eat some stupid beans. We'll talk about that offline. I actually sent that video to somebody last week, and he was laughing his butt off. But the point is, when you're playing a game, you're playing Stratego, you're playing Chutes and Ladders, you're playing whatever, there are winners and losers. There are bad things that happen. You could be playing, was it the game of life? And
you got to roll with it, man. Hey, you didn't want 5 kids? I'm sorry. You got 5 kids. You should have wrapped the tool, fool. You had problems, but hey, now you got to push through.
Right. So this is a game. As a role player, I say take it seriously in the points of being the headspace of your character. Yes, I like to lean towards heavier role playing and being in in the mindset of my character, yada yada yada. But it's still a game. If you can't enjoy it, even with its negative aspects like level drain, maybe find a different hobby.
Yeah.
Did you see my question about monsters?
No.
I don't pay attention to chat as well while I'm reading, so I kind of rely on Heathen Dog for that, and I don't know, maybe didn't catch his eye.
Sorry.
Question. No, there it is.
Told the story of a player catching a mist vampire with a portable bellows and stopper, then releasing it in the middle of the ocean during the day.
No, that was, you have to scroll higher for that one. Here, I'll just read it. It says, question. When you get a new monster manual or get the monster section of a book, what is the first monster you flip to? For me, it's dragons. I always use dragons to gauge lethality of a game.
Okay. I mean, that's a way to go.
I don't think I have one. Not one that I just particularly like, ooh, I got to see if this game's got this.
No, I don't either. I kind of flip through the whole thing and see what catches my eye.
Mostly because I'm a fanatic for undead. But my reason for being a fanatic for undead is because undead are so easy to manipulate. Oh, it's just a skeleton. Wait a minute, how did the skeleton just breathe fire on me? And it still makes sense because it's already a stupid undead anyway. It's it's already come back to this earth by magical means, right? Yeah. You can do anything you want with undead. So sometimes, like when I look at a game, like like how does it, ooh, this is a revenant. This is nothing like a revenant that I've seen before. This is a revenant that does something else. Maybe something like that. But I don't really have a creature. I think, like Heathen Dog said, I don't have a creature that I'm like, ooh, I got to see what happens in this game. All right, yeah, go ahead and put the subscribe thingy up, please.
Okay.
All right, with that, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell us your thoughts about the monsters. What is your favorite monster? Look, what are your thoughts on Energy Drain? And I'm just going to be upfront with you right now. If it's anything other than Energy Drain is awesome and belongs in Dungeons & Dragons, you're just not a good person. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Go play a different game. Why are you watching Rule Cyclopedia stuff if you don't like Energy Drain? So, other than that, no, what are your thoughts on this? And I hope to see you in the next video where we talk about immortal characters. That's right, you won't have to worry about Energy Drain because you'll be immortal. Talk to you then.